All right, we're trying to start this fucking podcast. Well, this is episode 1 of the Prezcast. This is not a porno. We will not be hiring women. I am a misogynist. This is all male ran, all male focused. If you're a woman, skedaddle. Stop trying to use your warlock methods and steal my information, so then when we start to talk someday, you can spit this information back on me. You're not supposed to know this shit. We are currently in the layer. You know, I got all my steroids over here, guys. All my supplements. Gotta blur this out. My capsules of something that makes me feel very good. Got more steroids and things over here, and this is where I work every day, guys. Every day. For the past 4 months of my life. This is February. What day is it? What fucking day is it? It's February 28th of 2026. I went to Japan in October of 2025. So I've literally just been editing since I've been back. I got back like November 1st. So all of November, all of December, all of January, and basically all of February. So basically 4 months. I've just been editing, working on these videos. I was dog shit at first. Still not the best ever, but I think I'm making decent videos. Anyway, here to record the first podcast. I do not know what this podcast is even going to be about, but I told myself that I need to just record. I just need to record. So I have ChatGPT pulled up on my phone, and we're going to talk to ChatGPT and see what the podcast should actually be about. That is just how retarded we are over here at the Prezcast. I hope this fan isn't loud. I was kind of hot. I'm going to turn the fan off and then just strip for you guys. I'm an absolutely maniacally insecure man, so I need you to compliment my physique in the comment section. Anyway, I have my... We're going to make this like an official podcast, except for I'm doing it, like I said, on the beanbag. On the beanbag, we are doing the podcast. Is the podcast even set up? No, but this is a completely audio-driven podcast. For those of you who don't know, I am Hayden, aka hdforprez. That was my alias I gave myself in 8th grade, hdforprez, and it has stuck. Jamal Adams, an NFL player, his Instagram was Presidential Jamal, and I was like, that's pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. That is pretty tough. And so in 8th grade, when I was obsessed with football, I was like, I am going to be hdforprez. And cracking my protein drink. For you guys who don't know, if you have a Sam's membership, sparkling protein water. It's got some whey in there. It's like a soda with 30 grams of protein. Pretty good. Why did I just spit that up? Okay. Well, we are at 4 minutes. We are rolling hot on the pod. Mouth is absolutely dry, so gotta freshen it up. So like I said, we are on the beanbag. I'm gonna sit down so I can talk to you guys, address you like some real people. Address you guys like some real people over here at the Prezcast. So episode 1, let us get ChatGPT out. I asked ChatGPT, what should I talk about? I gave it a list of some titles I already had. Let's see what it has to say. It says, what am I slightly afraid to say publicly right now? What is hdforprez slightly afraid to say in public? Well, currently, a war just started basically today. The U.S. and Iran fought. Not going to get too political here. I am never happy with war. But let's just say I'm not the biggest patriot at the current moment. That is where I'll leave that. The title of the podcast. How to ruin your life according to everybody. Mic drop. I'll just give you the origin story. The origin story. So most of my life, I lived in Oklahoma. I then moved to Ohio in going out of 5th grade into 6th grade. So for 6th grade was my first time in Ohio. I was always a soccer player my whole life. Played soccer when I first got here to Cincinnati. My problem was I was beating the fuck out of the other kids. Like, I was a little older. No, I wasn't older. I was just the same age. Okay, so I said I thought I was a little older because I got held back in 3rd grade because I was a retarded kid who was dyslexic and just couldn't read. So I just couldn't read for shit, got held back, went to some private school. Well, it was like a online private school thing, but it was like free. Charter school. That's what you call them. Charter school. Online. Oh, jeez. I need to slow this thing down. Excuse me. Yes, charter school. Going to the charter school. I'm going to restart this. I'm restarting this. No. We're going to keep going. Charter school. This might be the worst podcast recorded in history. Oh. So, yes, I was at the charter school. I was dog shit at reading. I think I was like in 3rd grade. I was being homeschooled by my mom. So I was in the school because I was homeschooled. But in order to actually like continue to graduate, you have to have some sort of like official schooling system. So charter school is for like people that are homeschooled, and you do like the standardized tests while being homeschooled. Why was I homeschooled? I don't remember. The public school system sucks. I'll give my mom that. What did I learn? I learned a lot of geography while I was homeschooled. Besides that, I really don't remember it. Did learn a lot of geography. I remember learning about crepes in Canada, and learned about the harbor up there. Super random side tangent. Anyway, that shows how much I learned while being homeschooled. Wasn't a whole lot. I don't remember. I learned a little bit about Egypt, but then I watched Joe Rogan a few years later, and they kind of like completely obliterated everything I learned while I was homeschooled. So I don't know. I don't know what I learned when I was being homeschooled. But anyway, I got held back because I was doing like the standardized tests at the charter school. And when I did the test, they were like, God damn, you're retarded. They even gave me like the special privileges for like the retarded reading kids, but I still fucked it up. And then they said to my parents, like, usually they don't, school systems don't forcibly like hold kids back. Usually they kind of give the choice, an option to the parents. Because, like, in the past, they didn't do that, and then they changed it. I forget what the thing is called, but anyway, this charter school didn't believe in that shit, and they just held me back with no choice, which kind of sucked. I felt like a loser, was kind of a loser. Come on, dude. Read the fucking page. Anyway, I went to tutoring for a few years, so I ended up being an okay reader. Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. I was confused. I just got this new camera, and it was weird. Anyway, is this thing on? Let me get a drink. We were 10 minutes deep. I probably need to cut down half of this shit. Anyway. Oh, I just popped my hip. That did not feel good. That is why I quit football. But we were trying to get there, if I can get there. The video is called How to Ruin Your Life According to Everybody. Okay, how do you ruin your life according to everybody? Let me get back and check. So, held back, kind of retarded. Anyway, got to Cincinnati, right? So I got held back, yada. Then went to Cincinnati. I was always playing soccer. Then came to Cincinnati, was playing soccer. I was doing a private league that wasn't through the school system, so I actually was the same age as everybody. I wasn't yet getting that advantage of being held back. But I was playing soccer, and I honestly, I don't know, I was just beating kids up. I was getting yellow cards like almost every game. I was fucking throwing fucking chicken wings. And kind of realized, like, maybe football would be my thing. I was never into football when I was in Oklahoma, but when I moved to Ohio, the middle school I was in, they were, the grade above us, they were really good at football. 6th grade, you weren't allowed to play football, so I was in 6th grade, but I always saw that the 7th grade team was good. Thought it was pretty cool. Made friends in middle school. Then I went and played football in 7th grade. Here's where the buff came in, though. I was held back, so I was like fucking damn near a foot taller than everybody. It was just 1 year, but I felt like the man. When we scrimmaged the 8th graders, when I was on the 7th grade team, I got my shit kicked in, and I was like, damn, I'm not that guy. And it was because I was playing against kids that were my age, and I just wasn't that good. But when I was a 7th grader, and when I was the age of an 8th grader, but I was playing against 7th graders, I was like the man. Except for I couldn't catch balls at all. Our coach, God bless him, Coach Farmer, scream at my ass, catch the fucking ball, or whatever, what he would scream. I don't remember exactly. But I had bricks for hands. So then they were like, well, how the fuck do we get this fast kid the ball? Because I was tall, I was taller than everybody, and I was faster than everybody because I was just older. So they did like end rounds. Play the clip! And I thought I was the shit. I thought I was the man. They literally just handed the ball to me. I was just bigger, faster than all the kids because I was a year older. And I just went up the field, score the tutty. Let's go. Thought I was the man. Eventually, they did actually throw me some passes. So I caught 2 touchdown passes. My first touchdown actually ever was a catch. I was a tight end. I caught a pop. I just ran it right up so fast, nobody could catch me. The fastest, the best, the retarded kid who got held back. Sorry, terrible Trump impression. Let's try to not keep this as... I'm not funny. Stop trying to be funny. Shut the fuck up. All right. Reset. We are at 13 minutes in this podcast. Absolutely terrible. But this is the origin story. And the title, once again, how to ruin your life according to everybody. So I was pretty good at football. I liked it. COVID happens. Bang, at the end of 7th grade. Got in, like fucking COVID sucked. Didn't do my schoolwork at all. But after football, I thought I was pretty dope in 7th grade. So I got into football. Like obsessively into football. All I ever did, all of COVID, just train. And then I came in 8th grade and I was low-key like, I was one of those guys, you know? Before I was just bigger, faster, stronger. Now I was actually like trained, you know? Because I spent all of COVID like training to be a good player. My hands were still questionable, but my cutting abilities and my speed were better than even before. So 8th grade, I was kind of tough. I broke my hand though. That kind of sucked, but I still caught a touchdown pass with a broken hand. Cue the clip.
There we go.
Yeah! Anyway. Yeah, that was cool. Then I get hurt. Like slightly hurt my freshman year. Why am I telling you guys? This doesn't matter. Anyway. So 8th grade, got pretty good. Then I just continued to get better and better. And what do you know? I played high school. That was cool. I had one game that I played like the starting running back the whole game. Had like 3 tutties in the first half. Felt like the man. My high school, not many people fucked with me. Like they knew me, but they weren't like, damn, I love Hayden. Which is cool. Love y'all folks. But anyway, that was pretty cool though, because they were all screaming MVP at halftime. Well, I don't say all of them. The chicks probably weren't doing. Chicks didn't fuck with me. But the guys, they were screaming MVP, which was kind of cool. Kind of cool experience my senior year. Anyway. All that to be said, I was good at football. I trained a lot. I was good because I trained a lot. I just was obsessed. I was like, low-key, like, what else am I going to spend my time doing? So I just went to the gym, like, 3 hours a day on average, probably. It was kind of chill. Though I was, like, kind of miserable a lot of the time. Anyway. Where am I trying to go with this podcast? I'm like hurting my own brain trying to talk to you guys. Move this up. I'm laying down. You guys are gonna get an interesting POV of me laying down. Fuck it. First podcast. Laying down. Don't look up my fucking shirt, guys. I hope you see my micro peen print. Oh. What am I trying to tell you? The origin story? How to ruin your life according to everyone. So, I go to college. Before I went to college, I kind of started to realize that, like, football wasn't that cool. It wasn't really my thing. Shit. What did I do to the thing? Okay. Hello? Okay, for some reason it was recording. Hello? I'm so fucking confused. Hello? 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 Okay. Anyway, I'm going back to the other way. All of that bullshit to be said, I played college football and realized it's not where I wanted to be. Realized there's more to life than an arbitrary game that doesn't really matter. You're giving yourself brain damage for what? A college that don't care about you and some hopes to go to the NFL that realistically ain't gonna happen. What, for a degree? A degree that isn't gonna matter because AI is gonna take your job? Brother, I'm cooling on that. I'm cooling on that. I hope that wasn't too loud, guys. I'm cooling on that. But, like, anyway, ever since I was a kid, like, I've always been, like, YouTube videos I thought were so cool. Partially, I think, because I like attention, I guess, or I like myself, which I think you have to be. I think you have to kind of like yourself and be self-centered to be able to do what I'm doing here. I don't think that's inherently bad. I think it's actually good. I think people should be more self-centered in a way. A lot of times people are too focused on others, and then it's when they project negative feelings. They don't think enough of themselves, and so then they project their pain onto others, and those are the people that lash out. For me, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have an ego and I don't hurt people. I do sometimes, and that can be better. But for the most part, I don't feel like I go around like pushing people down or shitting on people or projecting my pain. Most of the time, I don't do that a whole lot. And I think that's a lot of it due to the fact that I just like myself a lot. So I think that's good. Some people call it arrogant, cocky, and, you know, there's times that you should give yourself shit and you should demand better and do better. That's for sure. Not a sinless, perfect person. Nobody is, but it's a constant. Anyway, I was in college, though, and I low-key just was not enjoying the people I was around. I loved my anthropology and philosophy class. I'd go in there and just be like a nerd. Dropping just, like, sometimes I was being retarded, but a lot of times I feel like I was dropping pretty good answers in there because I'm kind of nerdy. But I just realized it wasn't the right environment. Drinking at little, like, shitty house parties that don't fill my soul. It feels like numbing out. I knew that my degree probably, I didn't think it was going to bring me where I wanted. I was absolutely depressed in college. Not fun. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I know I wanted to do YouTube. I got some inheritance money from my aunt, my mom on my, what the fuck am I saying? My aunt on my mother's side. She gave me, God damn, this is a terrible podcast. She gave, like, everybody in our family, like, a pretty equal amount of money. So I got a decent bit of inheritance. You're not supposed to really talk about your money online. But I don't really care, guys. At the end of the day, I'll tell you how much money I got. 45 racks. I inherited 45 racks. That was pretty cool. Do I have 45 racks now? No, I do not have 45 racks. That's why I'm starting this YouTube channel. I've been investing money. Don't ask me for financial advice because I'll probably just tell you to bet on yourself and see what happens. That's because that's what I'm doing. Anyway, but yeah, I felt comfortable enough with that financial, you know, thing that I inherited that I was like, you know what? I see this as like something that's going to help me jumpstart what I want to do. And instead of using that on college, because I still was going to pay a little bit of my college, even though I was playing football. It wasn't much. It was like $3,000 a year. Oh, I was about to incriminate myself. Just to remind me, guys, another time to talk about my credit situation. That's all I'll say. My credit situation in college. We'll say that one for another day. Guys, you shouldn't have sent me that much money. Guys, you shouldn't have sent me that much money. What money, though? What money? Anyway, another day's topic. come after me, creditors. Bam. But anyway, I used that money. I was like, I could go start my own. I could do this. I can start my business. I can better myself. I worked hard. I got to college for football, not because I was naturally like the best player. I did have the advantage that I was older, but it was more just like I was confident. Like I was arrogantly confident in my football skills just because I was older. But because that was the case, I worked really hard at it. And then it in turn actually was the reason that I was able to go to college. So I just thought like, well, if I was able to work my way to going to college, and I had multiple injuries, like I broke my leg before my senior year. I pulled like both my hamstrings, not that at the same time, but at a different time. I tore my both hip flexors, both adductor muscles. I've had a lot of injuries. That shit was tough, but I worked through them. I worked through them and still got to play college. So I was like, if I could do that, and like realistically, I probably shouldn't have been able to do that. Well, not shouldn't have, but most people wouldn't, because it was just like really serious injuries, and I did have to spend a lot of money on surgeries, or my mom did. She helped me out, God bless her. Thank you for helping me with those, or I would not be able to walk very well right now. Like the injuries I had were bad. I forgot what I was saying. Dude, this is the worst podcast. Fuck it. Whatever. First pod. What's the pod called? How to Ruin Your Life According to Everybody. Right. So I left college, but nobody thought it was a good idea. Like I was like incredibly depressed. I was smacking yart before every single class, before every single team meeting. I was like I had like 6 carts next to my bed. I was so fucking depressed. Like suicidal thoughts, like fucking hated college. And I don't want to get into it so much and, like try to slander anybody. It was just that there was a disconnect between me and the football program and also the school itself. Like the college environment, all of it was just like, I got really into philosophy. I got really into what I say is like spirituality, or just analyzing like what do I want to do with my life. Really thinking about that. And thought about that a lot before I went to college, the summer before I went to college. And I thought before I went to college, I was like, I probably am going to leave. I just was like, I knew I was getting the money. I hadn't had it yet. I didn't have access to it yet, but I knew that I was going to have access to it eventually. And I was like, I don't think this is what I'm going to want, but I'm going to go try it anyway. And then I went there. I pulled my hamstring in college, in training camp, or whatever you want to call it, fall camp. That shit sucked. I was miserable. How that was handled with the program, it just didn't sit well with me. And I felt incredibly depressed and lonely in college. And it ultimately just led to me being like, this is not something I want to do. Not a place that I want to see myself for the next 4 to 5 years of my life. So I was like, in that time, instead of spending money on a degree that maybe I'll use, maybe I won't, and I know I'll probably be in an environment that I don't love, though I loved playing football, I was like, I can spend that money and invest in myself, and I know that if I fucking just burn the bridges, I have no choice but to fucking sink or swim. And so I'm like, either I'm going to fucking kill myself, unalive this guy. That's I'm trying not to get demonetized. Or I'll make it happen. That's what I believe. So that's what I'm doing here. Definitely has been hard times, and these past like 4 months, me just editing. A lot of people saying, "Oh, why don't you just post?" or "Why don't you do this?" or "Why do you do that?" But I've had this vision in my head about how I want to do it. Made a backlog, made 13 videos out of all the footage I had. Really like worked on my editing skills, my storytelling skills, my ability to like just feel comfortable in what I'm making and not feel embarrassed. And I can say now that all 13 of those videos, I'm not embarrassed by. You know what I mean? Obviously, sometimes some of those actions in those videos are like embarrassing, like, or things I say are slightly embarrassing, or I'm intoxicated saying things I'm embarrassed about. That is true. That happens in my videos, which you're not going to see yet because, well, if you're watching this when I first came in, you won't see it yet because those videos aren't posted. But if you're coming back to watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of embarrassing things, and that is not things I'm embarrassed about as a person, though. I think that at the end of the day, everybody says embarrassing things, does embarrassing things, is ignorant at times. And it's a matter of just like growth, like being aware of it, being self-aware, trying to grow from it. But I look at the videos and the way they're edited, the jokes, how they're edited, the pacing of the video, the intros to the video, the jokes. Overall, I feel like not embarrassed. I wouldn't be afraid to show it to people. You know, obviously I push the envelope, and sometimes they're a little bit like crazy jokes or crazy things that I say. But I think it's delivered in a way that I'm very confident about right now. So while it's been a very hard time these past couple months, me just being here basically in this basement, because I'm in my mother's basement. I do pay rent, guys. I'm not complete bum. I do pay rent. More rent than I'd like to pay. That is for damn sure. And I would like to make money someday, but I don't have a Patreon or anything. Not yet, at least. So tell your friends, I guess. If you want to help me. Anyway, what am I doing? Fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, I feel good about my videos. I feel good about the backlog that I have. I'm planning on posting every 2 weeks. I just booked my flight to Vietnam. I'm not going to try to talk about the videos or things that I'm shooting there because I do like these ideas and I think they're unique. And I'm going in May of this year, so it's February. I'm going in May. So for these next few months, I'm going to just continue to just kind of do what I've been doing, which is like working out. I'm going to like edit all the short form, try to really push these videos out and do these podcasts as well as I can. Maybe I'll go shoot some hitchhiking videos or something. Possibly you've already seen those by now if I've done one. I don't know. I've thought about them. Maybe I won't. I am learning Vietnamese right now. Xin lỗi có hiểu tiếng Việt không? Do you understand Vietnamese? Tôi hiểu một ít tiếng Việt. I understand a little bit of Vietnamese. So the goal is to try to understand a decent bit of Vietnamese before I go there. But like I said, I'm not trying to spoil any of my videos yet. Maybe we'll go to another Asian country, not Japan. But I don't want to say which one. Vietnam is communist, so I will give a hint. Maybe it's another communist country. I might do I might become a double communist. Might be a double commie. A double commie spy? Will I be a double commie spy? I don't know. Anyway, I'm at this place that I feel pretty good about my videos now. But the title of the video, How to Ruin Your Life According to Everybody. I know I've said it a ton. Well, this is exactly how you do it. Basically, like I said, my mother, my close friends, most people told me to not do this. A lot of football teammates told me not to. I did have some football teammates that were very supportive. I appreciate those dogs. A lot of the girls at college were like, you're not going to do this. That kind of stung. It's like, damn. But at the end of the day, it's like, it is what it is. Nobody will be able to know if you can do it besides you. You know, and if you're looking at this right now and you have a dream and you don't know if you can do it, but you want to, the only way you'll know is if you try. Nobody else, they're usually projecting their own belief system onto you. So even if they could do it, if they don't think they can do it, they're going to tell you can't do it just because that's how they think, you know? And maybe both you guys could do this shit, but people's limitations, mental self-limitations do that. And maybe you can't do it, you know? But at the end of the day, like, you got to try to know. So just do what you want. Like, you're going to die. Everybody who knows you, who has an opinion about you, they're going to die. They're going to turn to dust. Say what you want about religion, guys. I've done a lot of research. I'm not too afraid of death. You know, I'm not out here itching for it, but I'm not tweaking about it either. I've had a gun pulled on me. That's another story for another day, but I'm not tweaking about death. I think that will be all right. And I think that opinions, like, if you're not scared of death, why the fuck do you care about people's opinions? Opinions don't matter, bro. Like, they're gonna go with the dust when that person dies. Just like you, your life is meaningless and you are nothing and you're a speck of sand on a speck of sand in space, and you are gonna die and be forgotten forever, and nobody's gonna know who you are. And that's cool. That's actually dope. That's freeing as fuck, because in your lifetime people will know you. So that's kind of dope. But at the same time, like, it doesn't matter. If you make a fool of yourself, like, who fucking cares? Like, the people that you probably connect with the most are the ones that you most are willing to be a fool in front of. You know, like, that's family, that's close friends, it's the people that you're willing to look like an idiot. And so it's like, why not just look like an idiot to the world? And, you know, people are going to judge, but those people that see you for who you are when you show yourself as an idiot, you're going to find more of those people on the internet, or like when you put yourself out there and you don't hide. So guys, I am what I am, you know, and you can have an opinion about me, and that is, you're completely allowed to. I actually encourage you to have an opinion about me. If you don't like me, that's cool. Like, if you want to keep watching my videos but don't like me, I don't really get that. But if you do like me, well, now look at that. Now you found somebody you like, and I found somebody who resonates with me, and that was the whole point. You know, build these connections, put myself out there. Pretty dope. I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, just do what you want, guys. Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody's opinions about what I do matter. I love my mother. Her opinion about what I do doesn't matter. And that's freeing. That's freeing. I'm going to die. She's going to die. Everybody's going to die. So the only thing that matters is doing things that, you know, you wake up and you're like, damn, I'm excited to do this. Like, I wake up and I'm excited to edit videos and make thumbnails and come up with titles. And the short form, not as much, but like doing a podcast, I'm excited to do this. You know, I don't really know what I'm doing right now. Just yapping, which actually that is what podcasts are. It's just yapping, and it's building that, you know, showing who you are. And some people are going to see this and they're going to say, I don't like that person. And that is cool. But some people are going to listen to this and say, hey, this guy's being real, or something, or you're going to resonate for some reason or another. And that's the point, you know? If I didn't put myself out there, I would never find that person that resonates with this, and they would never find me. And so for you, you also should put yourself out there. You'll never find your people, or the people that resonate with you. Like, at the end of the day, you don't need to find your people. You need to just be content with who you are. But in doing that, also put yourself out there, and you'll find, like, if you're content with who you are, those people, the other people's opinions don't matter. But then you'll also find the people that fuck with you for who you are. Like, when I was in Japan, I wasn't really caring what people thought, and I met some people that I appreciate and love so much, and they saw me for who I was, and they treated me very well, and I had great connections in a very short period of time because I was willing to be an idiot and put myself out there. And how many relationships or experiences do we as humans rob ourselves of because of that fear of judgment, or that fear of what other people think? And it's just like, I'm not trying to preach at you, but this is just like, this is how I feel. Like, you can do whatever you put your mind to, as long as you're disciplined and you say, like, you know, like, and like, what people say, well, what if you fail? Like, what is failure though? You know, like, you're gonna die no matter what. You're gone. You're kaput. Failure is, you only fail if you, like, think you failed. But it's like, if this doesn't work and I spent all my money doing this, well, now I have a skill, and now I know that I tried. The thing that felt like the smart move, like, felt like the move for my soul, even if it doesn't work out, even if I don't get money, I did what I, at the time, thought was the best. And that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Because either way, I am literally going to die and be gone. I can't take money to the grave with me. So being worried about my money, penny pinching, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying be dumb with your finances, but do what makes you feel alive. And I feel alive right now. And that's why I think this is going to work. You know, not because I'm so special that the world just is going to accept me, but I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do the work to make videos that I think people will enjoy. And I'm going to be willing to put myself out there. And that's why I think it'll work. And I think anybody, like, people underestimate themselves so much. And if you're watching this, like, I believe that you can do whatever your dream is. Like, it's not going to be easy. Like, dreams aren't easy. But, like, there's the metaphor of Sisyphus, or I don't know if you call it metaphor or the myth, whatever you call it. Sisyphus, he's pushing the hill up the mountain, right? Forever, for eternity. That is all he does. What does an animal do, though? Like, think about the gazelle. Like, the gazelle that lives gets old and dies. What is it doing every day? It's not waking up when it's old and says, well, now I get to look at my 401k. I get to, eat my pudding. No, it's fucking fighting every day. It's moving every day. It's overcoming adversity every day. Every single day, we're going to have to fight and overcome adversity. And so when you chase your dreams and you're doing the thing that you say, like, this feels real, sure, you might have adversity. Sure, you might have financial struggles. You might have whatever. But it's like, as humans, that's what we're meant to do. We're not meant to fucking sit here on our phones, doom scroll all day. Like, it's literally the worst drug there is out there because it is grounded in reality. It's not even in your brain, but it fucks with your brain. Like, doom scrolling is terrible. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. But you can do it, bro. Like, we're meant to be uncomfortable. In history, there's the steppe people, which were these like people of the mountains in like Europe, essentially, right? Or maybe it's Germany, like Nordic Germ. I'm bad with my history, but anyway, the steppe people were like literally like nomads, and they would just move on the mountains all the time. They didn't have a place to stay, and they were like the healthiest people they were. Like, they're like, at the time they had the most healthy bones, and probably because they had a lot of protein because they're hunting like animals, but also like their activity. But if you just think about it this way too, like, they also were always moving and overcoming adversity, and they didn't know what was going to happen. Like, they were stepping into the unknown. But then at the same time, you have like the Mesopotamian agriculture people whose bones were dog shit because all they did is sat in one place, and they're like, well, I hope it rains this season so I can get my grain. Like, one, they're not eating enough protein. Two, they're not doing enough exercise. And three, they're just fucking stagnant. Like, I'm sure that psychological effect has a lot to do on their bones too, because when you're just in the same spot and you're not overcoming adversity and you're just sitting here like saying, well, now I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. Like, will it rain? Will it not? Like, I think you're butt fucking yourself. Excuse my language. But yeah, just embrace the unknown, embrace adversity. The strongest people you know in life are the ones that can overcome adversity, who can deal with the curveball, like to deal with the things that they weren't expecting. Like, those are the strongest people you know in your life, most likely. And just be one of them. You know what I mean? Just say, fuck it, I'm going to be one of them. And how do you do that? It's like slow exposure. It's like ice baths. You do a little bit, and then you get a little bit further, and you like get a little colder, and then you get a little colder the next day. It's like, do some things that make you uncomfortable. Like, for me, I quit weed for 25 days. I did smoke recently. I broke that streak. I did it, though, intentionally. I did, there were a lot of days that I was, forcibly, I was wanting to, and I held myself back, and I actually made the choice consciously to do it when I did break that streak, which I think is fine to do it consciously. It's just a matter of, how do you make sure that when you do it consciously, you allow yourself to unravel. And I psychologically saw myself wanting to unravel, but now I've blocked it back down and said, no, Zaza. Anyway, you gotta do things like that. That's just one example. I'm not saying you gotta swear off weed or whatever, but doing things that make you uncomfortable. Saying no to the fast food after you go to the gym and get a good workout in. I've been doing that, trying to save the money, but not just the money. Do the thing that I don't want to do, but do it with conviction, because that allows you to do more tough things. When I'm able to say no to the fast food, and I'm able to say no to the Benjamin that's sitting right over there that I could easily smack at any time, that's giving me more ability to do the things that are hard, and do the things that are unknown, and things that don't always feel the best, but those will give me the results. And that's like waking up, editing on my computer, doing over and over, just watching tutorials on editing and doing the software, just doing different things all the time, always trying to get better. We as humans can do a lot. I was absolutely terrified of buying Adobe software a few days ago and having to learn how to make thumbnails. I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? It was just fear. It was me afraid for no reason. I've learned DaVinci Resolve, which is one of the most insane softwares ever. I'm not going to sit here and say I know it perfectly, but I use it. That shit was ridiculous. There's no reason I couldn't do Adobe Photoshop. In 4 days of having Adobe Photoshop, I've done 8 different thumbnails. 2 of them I'm going to redo, but a ton of them, I feel really good about these thumbnails. I think they look relatively professional. There's some aspects, some of them that need to get a little better, but I think they look pretty damn good. And I was afraid, but what did I do? I just pushed myself through it. I'm just rambling, but I don't know. I think I'm going to wrap it up soon. I don't think this is going to be the longest podcast ever. It's my first podcast, but how to ruin your life according to everybody. Quitting football. Not doing the thing that people think you should do. The thing that's typical. The thing that's known. People want what's known. But my message, people are wrong. People are conditioned to be weaker now. They're not bad. They're not inherently bad. But I think people now are weaker, and so they choose the path of least resistance. Us as animals, we don't want our cortisol spiked. Stress, anxiety spikes our cortisol. We're like animals. We want the path of least resistance. Animals aren't actively choosing to spike their cortisol in the wild. Us as humans, we don't actively want to spike our cortisol. We want to do the things that don't stress us. That's why we don't want to have the hard conversations or yada, yada, yada. But we have to overcome that if we want a better, satisfied life. Because that's like, at the end of the day, like, your life's never going to be perfect. But we have consciousness, and consciousness is a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? Like, animals don't know they're conscious. They don't think about these things. And so they don't have to think about, overcoming their animalistic urges. Us as humans, we are too conscious. We are now in a new world, essentially, a new consciousness where the satisfaction of us, it's not as simple as just fuck a chick and eat food. That's like basically what an animal male is. Like, fuck and eat and survive, and we're still similar to that, don't get me wrong, but we also have enough consciousness that, like, that base desire is so easily met, though, in this modern world. Well, can be easily met if you can get poon. Anyway, it's just like, it's easy to get depressed, and we have to do more than just fulfill those base desires, and we have to look at it as if we're animals, and realize that, like, when we don't want to do the hard thing, it's because, animalistically, like, we choose the path of least resistance. But how do we intentionally overcome that and do more and be versions of ourselves that are conscious but also happy? Being conscious and happy is, like, ridiculously hard, I think. And I think it's possible, though, and it's never going to be a 100% all the time type of thing. I have sad days, but I think that overall, more times than not, I have a pretty good damn day. And I would say that's because of trying to be conscious of why I do what I do, why I feel what I feel, why I say what I say, and what I'm striving for every day. There's so many people that you ask them, like, hey, why do you wake up in the morning? What's driving you? And they'll be like, what do you mean? What kind of question is that? People look at you weird when you ask that, but I think that those questions are important because we only have one life, and you should think about it. But I'm just yapping at this point. Like I said, I'm gonna basically end this off. We're at 45 minutes right now. I think I'm probably gonna splice it up, but first podcast. Nothing too special. But if you're here, if you're watching this first podcast, I have, like, one video posted right now. So I appreciate you, Like, I do appreciate you. I do believe that this is going to continue to grow. And if it doesn't, at the end of the day, I will be satisfied because I know that I bet on myself. And I did what I thought was best for me. I think that in this modern world, with the access to technology that we do, it would be unwise to not take advantage of it. Like, I have this thing right here, which allows me to meet possibly up to millions of people, millions of people across the world that might resonate with who I am. That's crazy. That's crazy. And so many people will never take that opportunity, and they'll miss out on so many awesome things because the fear of, like, judgment or the fear of failure or whatever it is. And we have our fingertips at something. I was like, you don't even need a GoPro. I'm using a DJI. You don't even need one of these. You could just use an iPhone. But it's like, we have this magical thing that is the internet, and sure, it's monitored by our governments, but you can get access and communicate with tons of people that resonate with who you are. And I think we should all take advantage of it and realize that, like, everybody's gonna have an opinion about you. They are gonna die. It doesn't really matter. Just be who you are. As long as you know who you are, and you can say, even though I mess up at times, I'm aware of that. But you're like, I'm gonna choose to love myself, and I'm gonna choose to love myself so much that I'm not going to allow myself to continue to do bad things or fuck myself over or fuck other people over and live intentionally. I think that, like, you're doing all right. I think you're doing all right. Whenever you're watching this, just have a great rest of your week, hopefully month. And, yeah, peace.